Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. This is your forecast for the full moon in Scorpio, happening on Saturday, May 18th, 2019. I believe I have, 5:11 p.m. Eastern Time and 2:11 p.m. Pacific Time that it is going to occur. What I think this full moon in Scorpio is all about is that we are being baptized right now in some holy, holy waters, I think, into our next greatest mystery and greatest chapter of, or the next greatest chapter of our life. And I think what is going on today, this full moon in Scorpio, is the beginning, the very, very beginning of a major, beautiful transformation that's going to unfold in yourself, in your life, over the next few months and years. I think is going to take you very, very far. So I love this full moon in Scorpio a lot to help us step into new chapters. Now, because of how good this full moon is, I took it upon myself to think, you know what, I got to do something good for myself here that I have been waiting for a long time. A matter of fact, I think I like this full moon in Scorpio better than some of the previous alignments the past month or two that I think I also said I liked. So I'm changing up some things with my business. What I have started is a membership platform, a subscription service. If you want to get my content, more of my content, more regularly, please feel free to do that for just one fee a month. I'm going to bring back my dailies so that you can see my dailies there. I'll have a weekly forecast for you as well, and I'll do special just updates on the alignments that are also going on each week so that you can get updates on those. So I'm super excited. Also in that subscription plan, you'll also get my monthly webinars, always included, and my 2019 astrological planner, the PDF version. You'll get access to that as well. So I think it's a steal. I think it's a great deal. But if you're interested in that, sign up at the link down below. Also, if some of you are like, I don't want to commit to paying money monthly, then that's okay. You can actually buy the videos one-on-one. So if there's a daily video that you decide you want because you got something big going on that day, please check out my website. You can purchase just that one daily video. I also have one special video. It's long, it's 40 minutes, on the Saturn South Node conjunction that really occurred last month but is still in effect. If you want to purchase that one too and watch it, because I think what's going on right now in the astrology is major is huge. So check all that stuff out. I am going to have my webinar for June soon. I just haven't been able to put it together in the way that I would like. So also stay tuned for that. I'll announce it on my social channels, Instagram, Facebook, and you'll also see that pop up on my website too to register for that. So again, check everything out down below in my description box to see all the cool things that is going on. I'm hoping this full moon is the boost and the change that I need in my life in order to feel much better, and I hope that it is the same for a lot of you. Now, let's go ahead and get down, excuse me, now let's go ahead and get down to the astrology and see what's happening. First, I always do like to place the moon on the chart. We've got the moon right here. You can see it in Scorpio, making an opposition to the sun in Taurus. That is what makes a full moon a full moon. Moon opposite the sun. Now, what do full moons indicate? Endings or completions, stepping into things that we perhaps have been working on for a very, very long time. What are we stepping into here with the moon and Scorpio, or what are we completing? I actually think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, completing and stepping into. Whatever it is though with Scorpio, it does have a lot to do with change, with some big change. Now I know this is a word that I've been throwing around and using a lot, okay? And that's because we've had this Saturn-Pluto South Node conjunction happening for a while, and it recently came exact about a month ago, and Pluto is the natural ruler of Scorpio. So Pluto and Scorpio to me both hold that power of transformation and of change. That's why I've been saying it a lot lately, and I think we have been changing our lives a lot lately, and I think this full moon in Scorpio is saying, okay, you've been toying with the idea of change. You've been thinking about maybe adjusting your life so that you can change it, and you've really been trying. I think we've all been trying to get our courage up the past few days, weeks, months, to say, okay, my life isn't right. I know I need to do something different. I know life can't continue the way it has been, but what is this new thing? How do I do it? Can I do it? Now that I know maybe what it is. And finally, this full moon in Scorpio is saying, No more of this half in, half out. Maybe you're going to change. Maybe you're not going to change. Maybe you want someone else to make the change for you. No, no, no. Now you actually have to live it, step into it, to be the change, to do the thing that you know that your soul wants and needs in order to feel better, okay? And to me, this full moon in Scorpio really is the baptism into a whole other set of experiences in your life that you never ever dreamed were possible, existed, could happen for you. And they're going to start to happen, and they are going to be here, and doors are going to open up. Does that mean they're all going to open up immediately? No, but I think a lot of them are. The way I might think of this, especially with the Venus-Uranus, which I'll talk about in a second, beginner's luck. Beginner's luck. We're starting here to step out on some big journey, some big change. Your life was not easy to get here, especially with all this Saturn, Pluto, South Node stuff in Capricorn. No, no, no. This is not an easy change. This was not a lighthearted change that it is that we were making. We were scared. We never thought we were going to do this, or it would come to this point, or that we would have to. And all of a sudden we're here. After we've had these times where we doubted ourselves, or we thought we couldn't take it anymore, but we kept going. And because we kept going, now with this full moon in Scorpio with Venus conjunct Uranus, now all of a sudden, here's the luck. It's like, come on, I wanted a Hail Mary a few months ago. Why are you going to give it to me now? Maybe because we persevered. And I really do think here that we are stepping into new chapters in our life that we didn't even know existed, because we took it upon ourselves the past few months, instead of waiting for someone else to do it ourselves. We made a choice to change, and we stuck with it, and we believed in ourselves, and we had the courage to face our demons and to fight through the confusion. And now we're here, and now we're going with what we think our soul needs in an inkling, and there are things coming up unexpectedly, I believe, in order to push us forward and in order to make it happen, okay? So I really like this. Another thing, if I wanted to interpret Scorpio another way, to me it also has to do with things that we deeply want and desire. So I also like this full moon as it being a time for us to step into the desires of your heart, to step into the things that you want deeply, instinctually, and to really begin to live it, to make your desires real, to make your desires manifest, to not just talk about it, even though I think there's a fair amount of talking going to be going on with the full moon opposite Mercury. We're not just talking about it. We're not just thinking about it, even though we are talking and thinking about it. We're actually starting to move forward on these things we're thinking and talking about, and we're starting to step into this. It's like we've crossed a threshold, you know, especially whenever you get Pluto, Scorpio involved. It's like you cannot go back. You know, like maybe when you get the mutable signs, it's like, well, you can just change your mind tomorrow, you know? I always say this in like every video, but I'm a Gemini. So with like me, it's like, whatever, you're not gonna be locked into it. Tomorrow I'll just say the opposite thing, or I'll change my mind. When it comes to Pluto and Scorpio, it's like, no, no, no. This is not, okay, well, I did this thing, now I'm gonna change my mind tomorrow. No, this is a permanent change you are manifesting in your life to live a life you want. To live a life that deeply resonates with you, deep down, privately, personally, that you feel instinctually. Scorpio rules your sex organs. These are things we really, really desire. These are things that really turn us on. Okay, and this full moon is saying now is the time to get the things that you deeply desire, to integrate them into your life and to live them, to make them happen, and to commit to making that happen long term, and to not back out and to go all in. Okay, and I think it's going to be great if you do. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to set you up for so much success. Maybe before I go on, I'll read the Sabian symbols and the inside degrees. I don't normally wait to save those, do those last, but I actually really liked these and they really, really inspired me. So maybe I'll mention some of those now. Maybe I'll go with this one. I like the inside degrees, 27 degrees. I actually looked at both. I always look at both the degree of that the planet's in and the degree after, but I liked them both this time. I don't always like both the degrees, so I'm gonna give you both of them. And I like the inside degrees. And I'm not gonna say exactly what that inside degree was, but it's what it made me realize as I was reading it. And the inside degree was something to the effect of, I guess it was 3 robin eggs, and I got the idea everything starts from here. Everything that you want in your life, ever that you could want from this point on, it's all gonna start in this one moment. And it may feel like a small moment. Like some of you may be looking around and just being like, everything's gonna start from this moment? Like, what's going on right now in my life? Like, it kind of just is the way it is, or it doesn't feel that special, or I'm still trying to work some things out. But I really do believe at this full moon in Scorpio, everything from this moment is gonna start here, by you committing to what you really want, and not just committing to it, but doing it, living it, being it, and making it happen, and honoring your spirit and your soul, and being fearless, not being afraid to take the risks and to do what it takes to get what deeply you know that it is that you need. Even, maybe I should mention too, Scorpio has a lot to do with your deepest, most intimate relationships. I know we hit a little bit of a rough patch last month in our relationship, especially at those 2 Libra full moons. But I think now we're starting to smooth those things out a bit. I don't know if smooth is the word with Venus conjunct Uranus. I was like, definitely could be some unexpected, sudden things coming up in relationships at this full moon. But with Venus now in a sign it loves, Taurus, with this full moon in Scorpio, another sign of relationships, I think there's going to be a lot of adjusting here with people, renegotiating things with people, reworking things out with people. And as to where they could have felt tough the past few days and weeks, with Venus in its home sign of Taurus, which it loves, even if we surprise some people, I think we're going to have much better luck at saying, look, this is what I want. Are you on board with me or are you not? Do you want what I want? Do I want what you want? And to work that out. And I think this is going to be a time at this full moon in Scorpio where instead of people fighting with you, pushing you, people are going to get on board with you or not. People are going to know real fast. Yes, I want what you want, I'm in. Nope, I don't want what you want, I'm out. And so I think it's a time where it's like all your resources, your people, things that you need are starting to come together to help you get on board. And when people leave, they're leaving for a reason. And when people come, they're coming for a reason to help you move on. I mean, this is to me like a magical gateway. This point in time of it's like, okay, people coming into your life, people coming out of your life, getting all your resources together. I need to spend money and invest on that thing. Okay, I need to take my money away from that and put my money here. And I think all these things going on are no longer just like, man, this is hard. Man, this is frustrating. Man, is this worth it? Man, I gotta fight this battle. And I think now at this full moon in Scorpio, we're starting to say, you know what? If I gotta negotiate this, and if I gotta leave that, and if this person's gotta leave me, then hell, let them do it. Let me do it. You know, maybe they're not meant for me. I think we're starting to understand it's time. It's time to get your places. Everyone get your places. The show's about to start. I know I like to use a rehearsal analogy. I don't think the real show is about to start, but I think we're rehearsing for the show to start, starting really in October, November, December, and into January. I think we're kind of getting our places right now, and it's like, okay, who's with me, who's not? We're doing the test run. People come in, people exit stage left. There's a prop missing on stage, bring the prop on stage. You know, and everyone's like excited but nervous. And I really do. To me, this is a really big moment. Everything that you could imagine, that you could create for your life is gonna start here, is gonna start from this moment. It reminds me of a thing that my dad used to say when I was younger. He was a Cancer, so he was kind of sentimental. I don't even know why he would say this, but he loved his girls, daughters, and so he would always say when my sister and I sometimes were around the dinner table with my mom, he would look at me and my sister and he would say, I remember when the two of you were just a twinkle in your mother's eye, you know, before you were born. And he would say it just like he could like see our shapes in my mom's eyes before we were even alive. Which was the funniest thing, because I'm like, how did you know that we were gonna be born like at that time? And what does this twinkle in my mom's eyes really look like? Like, it doesn't really exist, Dad. You know, and so I think to me, this is kind of like the way that I see this full moon in Scorpio is the twinkle in your eye, the twinkle in your mother's eyes of like the children she's about to have but don't exist yet coming, which is kind of interesting, you know? And everyone's gathering, getting in line, gathering their places, preparing for what is to come. Man, I was like, oh, I have so many metaphors. Where did all these come from? You know, I used to have a book when I was a child that I used to love. I wasn't a child, I was a kid, a teenager. It was called The Time Traveler's Wife. Who wrote it? Audrey Niffenegger. I think. And one thing that I love, like, I'm obsessed with time. I think this is why I decided to do astrology, because timing is so important as to what's going on. And not to mention, I've been told by so many men, like, it's not the right time. So it's like a thing I get often, like, time is just always a thing. And I'm like a sun opposite Saturn person. Saturn rules time, so it kind of makes sense. And this book was about a time traveler. It was about a man who could travel back and forth in time, so he could see the future, and then he could come back to now and he could report back on the future. And I think this is really interesting. When I don't know why this made me just think about that, where I feel like it's the future. Maybe that's what I'm sensing. It's like the future is like pulling us forward at this moment in time, and is saying, look, I have this for you. Your future, it's like what you need in your future, what your life is going to be like, is grabbing you and is pulling you forward, and is saying, look, I know you may not know what you're doing. I know you may not understand what's happening, how to get from point A to B. You don't have to understand. I'm your future you, and I'm around you even though you can't see me, and I'm going to help you do what you need to do, and I'm going to guide you, and I'm going to keep you going, okay? And I'm going to get what you need and take care of all that stuff so that you can move forward. I feel a lot of that. It's like the past, the future, the present are all combining in this moment to help us move forward, and we're all trying to get in the right places. Okay, and that's also super important too, getting in the right places, because I watched another video about this recently too, from Stephen Furtick. I watch a lot of his stuff from Elevation Church. He actually posted this video a long time ago, but I just stumbled across it this past week, and one of the points he said is like getting in your places. If you want something to happen in your life and it's not happening, perhaps the reason why it's not happening is because you're not in the right place at the right time, where you need to be with the right people. And once you get in the right place, everything all of a sudden is going to start to come and flow to you. So maybe a lot of us have been living our lives in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now what I feel like has happened at this full moon in Scorpio is we're starting to realize, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. I need to be in the right place at the right time. How do I get to this place that I need to be? And that's why we're shuffling resources, we're shuffling things up, and we're fixing things so that we can finally grab our place again for when the show starts. So that we can make sure we're on stage when the lights go on and in the right place so the good things can start to flow to us. And I think a lot of good things are going to start to happen, especially with Mars here moving into Cancer, the very first degree. Okay, Mars doesn't like to be in Cancer, just because, you know, planets don't like to be in the signs opposite of signs they like, and Mars actually really likes Capricorn. So this can make it a really weak Mars, which means it could be hard for us to do things. It could be hard for us to get motivated. It could be hard for us to make things happen that would need to happen. But with Mars coming close to the North Node, and the North Node to me being things we need to do at this time, it's saying this Mars to me in Cancer is actually a very good thing. It's actually something that's necessary, that's needed. And so once we find our places, everyone, the show's about to start. Get your places, get everything on set. Are the lights good? What's going on? Once we grab our places, all you have to do is be present. All you have to do is show up and your body will take over, and you'll remember the steps, and you'll remember what you need to do, and it will start happening. And so I feel like that's where we are with Mars and Cancer. It's like this, I don't want to say hurry up and wait, because we're not waiting. Things are moving now. I know I told you at the new moon 2 weeks ago, slow down, think things through. Well, you're done with that. Now things are moving. And if you grab the right position and you get your line and you find your people where you need to be, all you got to do is show up, and things are going to happen for you. Things are going to happen to you, and you're going to find out that your intuition and your soul and your spirit is going to take over and is going to know the moves to this dance you've never danced in your life before, but that you really actually kind of have. So that's the way I see it going. And by you relaxing and releasing control and and not try to do things. Oh, I need to do this. No, you don't need to do. If you're in the right place, if you're in where you need to be, everything will happen for you. Everything will happen to you. Do not make happen. Set the wheels in motion and let everything come to you. And that's how I feel what this Mars in Cancer is saying. I think this Mars in Cancer is also saying too, now that you've taken this big step to change your life, nurture yourself, come home to yourself, love yourself, sit with it, sit with this for a bit, sit with this, and build roots downwards to support this new change and this new growth that's going to take form over the next few months, especially till September and October, and definitely into January. So I love this a lot. It could feel a little bit uncomfortable with Mars in a square to Chiron here. We could want to make things happen. We could be uncomfortable, but this Mars in Cancer here is saying release, control, stop, take a breath, appreciate the small things in life, especially with Venus and Taurus making the sextile to Mars. Appreciate beauty, appreciate the small things, appreciate the moment. Stop. Things don't have to be chaotic. Things don't have to be crazy. They've been crazy long enough. Gather your breath for a second, appreciate the small things, love yourself, love other people, and in that moment, by releasing control and not doing anything, everything's going to be handed to you beautifully, and you're going to start to feel warm and feel stronger and feel more secure and feel, yeah, like your soul is returning to you and things are starting to pick up again. I like it. Neptune as well in a trine with the North Node. So to me, this is another positive alignment. Your soul is starting to awaken, starting to come alive again. Positivity is returning. Peace is happening. You're starting to get over old chapters, things that you thought in your life you could never overcome. It's happening. You're overcoming it. You're moving on. You're feeling better. You're being brought back to life, brought back from the dead. Resurrection. Got all these kind of religious examples to use today. Yeah, it's feeling good. And you are finally starting to feel like with this Mercury, Sun, trine, Saturn, Pluto, I am doing it. I'm moving on. It's happening fast. New structures are being put in my life to change my life. I'm stepping into this change. I'm releasing control. Things are happening before me, even if they're coming up unexpectedly, even if people are coming in and out with this Venus conjunct Uranus. And it's moving. Okay, it's moving. I like it. I like it a lot. A few more in the Sabian symbols before I pull a card. Because I liked a lot of these. The imagery was just wonderful. The next inside degree that we had here for this moon, 28 Scorpio, had a lot to do with making the way for bare bones. You know, especially with this Mars in Cancer, that's how I see it. We may want to build upwards. We may want to grow publicly, grow outwards. Okay, I've done this big thing. I've made it happen. Everything happened to me now publicly. And I think things are. Like, I do think things are going to start to go fast. But I think it's all the stuff that's going to happen under the surface that's going to be the most meaningful. And I think that we needed to get this far at this full moon in Scorpio so that we could get the big thing done, the big thing out of the way, so that we can make something happen publicly, so that now that we've made this one thing happen publicly, we can start to build under it. I like that, because now I'm going to combine a bunch of the symbols together. The 27-degree Sabian symbol for Scorpio was to publicly affirm and to assert your will on other people and on yourself. And I feel like that's the thing. We've had so much going on inside us that's been tumultuous that we haven't decided on for so long. And this full moon in Scorpio is going to make us make a decision about what you want, what you don't want, and to make it happen in a more public way, where other people can no longer disagree with you and where you can no longer hide from other people. I think at this full moon in Scorpio, we are making our wills known to other people publicly, in some kind of either public form of expression or something that we're doing publicly. And now that we have made that public affirmation, this is me, here I am, this is what I want, this is what I need, I'm making it happen. Now that we've done the public thing, even we haven't done the whole thing, it's not like everything is out in the open, but now that we've said one or two things that we value the most and we've created the very beginnings of that outwardly, now that we've done that, I think that's what's going to make our soul rest at ease. Where now we're saying, okay, I didn't do everything, but I did one thing. I did the most important thing. I stood up for myself. I asserted this, and now I got the ball rolling. And now that I got the ball rolling, it's going to keep rolling because I did the hardest part. It's going to keep rolling. And now that this ball is going to keep rolling, I can kind of sit back and relax and just push it along and keep it going in the right place and feel much better. And now that the ball's rolling and I did something publicly, now I can build everything in personally below it so that I can support it. So that I can support what needs to be done and build the bare bones and build the base from which to move in the future. And now that you've done the public thing, the next month or two is going to be about you doing the personal thing, the private thing, to build the foundation to support this public thing. And then once you did that, gone under to build the foundation, then in a few months, maybe around August, you're going to come upwards and you're going to start to move up again and build on top of this foundation. So it's going to get higher. You're going to build a higher building, you know, and it's going to keep going from there. And I think that's what we're doing. And just because I'm saying that things are going to happen underneath the surface personally and privately to build roots, don't mistake that with being slow. Don't mistake that with nothing happening, okay? I think things are going to happen. They're just going to happen fast in different ways than you might think. And I do believe it's going to be beautiful. It's going to bring it all together, because the 28-degree Sabian symbol for Scorpio is inner allegiance and internal unity. And I think that's what we're going to start to feel come together at this full moon in the next few months. Unity. We're not piecemeal. We're not bits and pieces of ourselves anymore. It's no longer, I have to hide this part of myself because someone doesn't get it. I can't be this person, or I can only be this person this way around this person, and this person I have to be another way. You know, I have to minimize this and emphasize this. I think there's going to start to be this unity. We're all going to start to come together. We're going to start to feel more like a whole person again, living our lives, contributing to it as fully functioning, people. And our hearts are going to come back, and we're going to start to love life more and to show up in our life as true, authentic human beings instead of just being ghosts or walking around in a haze. It's like I think our souls are going to come back, and we're going to start to stand up and live our lives more fully from a heart-based perspective. And I think this is what it all is. This is the way that we're bringing everything together. We're taking a big public step that I think might have occurred, well, right around this full moon. This full moon is the big public step outwardly to do something that we've been working on. And then we're going to build underneath that public thing. And then after we build underneath the public thing, we're going to come up in August and start to go upwards and build more upwards, more publicly. And then do you see it to circle? We're going to start to feel more whole. Everything's going to come together. And we're going to feel more true to ourselves, especially with the Sun and Mercury coming conjunct. We're starting to feel better. And our souls are coming alive. And I like it a lot. For what's happening. Sorry, I kind of did a little bit non-linear today, but I'm excited about this full moon in Scorpio. To me, this is a huge, huge moment. That your life is not what it once was. And this is why this is a baptism, because it marks the end of an old life, the end of an old you, living by an old set of rules and the beginning of a new one. You are being remade. You are being reborn. When you come out of the waters of baptism, you're a new person. You're not who you once were. All the sins of your past, all the karma of your past, especially with that Saturn, Pluto, South Node stuff, it's gone. It's washed away. This full moon in Scorpio is washing away your sins. It's saying no matter how lost you thought you were, no matter how far away you thought you were years ago from the truth, or from your truth, your personal truth, from your life, from the light shining on you once again, you were never that far. You were never that far, and you were never too far to be redeemed, too far to be bought back. You were never too far. And now is that moment where it says, you're not too far, you can come back home. And I don't even know if home's the word, but you can find a new home where you're loved and where you're comfortable and where you're safe and where you're secure. And that home is here and that time is now. Maybe it just wasn't your time. It wasn't the time a few weeks, months, years ago, in order for you to drop all the karma, in order for you to be baptized. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe other things needed to happen. You know, now you are. Things are good. Things are good. I like it. Okay, now let me pull a card. Which one do I want to pull here? Yeah, I'll go with this one. For this full moon. Ooh, the Ace of Wands. I love it. The Ace of Wands to me is action-oriented, definitely one. I do like to think, I know it's weird, beginnings, even though it's a full moon. I feel like I have been speaking about this full moon as if it's a beginning. I think it is. I do. I think it's a major beginning or graduation of sorts. And what is graduation really? The ending of one chapter and the beginning of another. So I do think this is a time to reach for your passions, especially because the wands to me are fire signs. But when I think about it, Mars is one of the ancient rulers of Scorpio. And this to me, Mars also is a wands. So I would say pursue your passion. Pursue what you love, pursue what's in your soul. If you're pursuing something that's not in your soul, that's not in your heart, it's gonna feel like work and it's never gonna last. It's never gonna take off. If you're pursuing something out of obligation, not gonna work. But if you're pursuing something now at this full moon because you love it, because it's true to you, then you're gonna find that that passion is gonna sustain you, and a magical force is gonna start to work through you and to take over you, whatever that force is, whatever you wanna call that force. Maybe it's your future self coming into you at this moment and saying, look, don't even think, don't think, just do. And you're gonna be like, I've never done this before. Yeah, I think I said that this is a dance I've never learned in my entire life, but for some reason I feel like I've learned it before. You know, I feel like this is one of those times where it's like ancient wisdom. You know, I know a lot of spiritual circles, they talk about Akashic records. It's like the Akashic records are going to be opened and all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my gosh. I have a lot of experiences too with some people that I've met where I'm like, I've met you before. I know you. I know you. Even though I know I've never met you in this lifetime. And I feel like that's what's going on here at this full moon. It's like, we have not met in this lifetime, but I guarantee you we've met in the past one, and I guarantee you there's a reason why we're here, and there's something that's going to start to play out. Messages from past, the future, working through you, helping you, pushing you, guiding you to reach your destiny. And you got to trust your instinct, got to trust your gut, got to follow your spirit and soul, and got to do what you love, because that's the only way any of this is going to work out. Is if you're working from your soul and working from a higher perspective, and from your highest self. Also, Six of Wands. Ooh, come on guys, come on. And girls, come on. Six of Wands, love this card. Success, victory, winning. Come on. Scorpio to me is a sign that likes to win. Likes to win. Definitely. And I think we're doing it. I hope that all is very, very encouraging for you, but it is time to go for anything that you want. This is the time to do it. If it's in your heart, if it's in your spirit, if it's in your soul, you can accomplish it. You will accomplish it. Now is the time. You will not be let down. God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will be there, will have your back. Go for it. Trust. Have faith. Believe. I like it a lot. So that is your forecast for the full moon in Scorpio. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.